Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in today to this video on the Zenwara channel. Zenwara channel dedicated to the experiences of enlightenment, the truth of creation, the creator, channel dedicated to meditation and practice and the path, the pursuit of enlightenment, and from enlightenment to the center of the Kala Chakra and the manifestation of one's experience of enlightenment into the physical. Okay, so if you're interested in all that stuff, you're in the right place. Thanks for tuning in. Today I'm going to talk about identifying the pattern of life. Okay, so we've talked in previous videos, and without getting into in-depth detail on this, okay, um, we've talked about how we exist within a computer. Okay, so if that's a difficult concept to understand or something you want to look more into, there are previous videos on this channel that dig into that, delve into that, explain that. Okay, and that is experience from enlightenment. Okay, and this channel does go into all those depths. Now, what this video is going to be, what we're going to be talking about here is basically the pattern that can be identified. So I'm going to basically identify a pattern that if you start being meditative and attentive enough, will be able to identify on your own as well, and this will confirm the existence of that pattern to you from your own experience. Okay, and also from that experience, at that time, you'll be able to understand that that relates to a repeating pattern within the system. Okay, so one of the repeating patterns that you can easily identify, okay, is when you're looking at an intersection. Okay, so you can look at this at different areas, different places. Okay, an intersection where you have cars that are passing by. Okay, cars are going to have different colors. Okay, this is interesting. Okay, and you have other motorized vehicles. Okay, we're focusing on cars here. Okay, so now what you want to look at, okay, is you want to look at the cars passing by, and you want to see if you can identify a pattern within the cars, the movement of the cars. Okay, there shouldn't be an identifiable pattern that you can identify at different locations and over observation, but you will notice that there is a repeatable observational pattern, observable pattern that you will be able to notice at intersections. Okay, at crossroads, if you will. Okay, with the cars that pass by. Okay, and this is basically how it works. Okay. The first concept I want you to think about, okay, is a gentleman wearing a black suit. Okay, so a formal suit. Okay, on the outside it's a black suit. Okay, the suit has a gray lining. Okay, which is essentially in between the outside, the black of the suit. Okay, and the white. Okay, and what is the white? The white shirt that's underneath the suit. Okay, and the gentleman is also wearing a tie. Okay, and let's say for the purposes of this video that the tie is either blue or red. Okay, and now I'm going to make you reflect for those of you who have been following different videos to the colors we see in the Kala Chakra. Okay, in the Kala Chakra mandala when we look at the different colors. Okay, and I invite you to listen to more videos to understand that comment a little bit much more depth. Okay, with previous videos. So, and if you want to look at the colors, you can look at a Kala Chakra mandala very quickly. Just Google that, and you'll see what that looks like as well. And you'll see the colors reflected there. So, what do we have in a suit? Okay, we have the outside, which is black. Okay, we have gray. Okay, which is the gray liner. We have the white shirt, and we have the tie, which is blue or red. Okay, now you're going to start looking at patterns of cars. Okay, no matter where you jump into the pattern, okay, you're going to see this pattern repeating. Okay, so what you're going to look at is you're going to see the cars passing by, and what you're going to see is you see a dressing and an undressing of that suit. Okay, sometimes with different pieces coming off, and then sometimes following a sequential dressing and undressing of that suit. So for example, okay, let's say you have a black car that passes by. Okay, you might have a repeat of that color as well. Okay, that color repeating. Let's say you have a black car passing by. Okay, the next color probably, okay, going towards the inside of the suit is gray. Okay, once again you might have a repeat of that color on the gray. The gray is a very common color, and you'll find the repeat there very often, usually a two-time repeat. Okay, so it happens for a total of two cars passing gray. Okay, but sometimes you'll have a third one too. Now, from the black to the gray. Okay, from the gray to the inside of the suit, which is either the tie, which is blue or red, or the white shirt. Okay, now we're at the tie. We're at the tie. Well, from the tie, where are we going? We're going towards the outside. So from the tie, which is the blue or the red car, okay, we're going to be going towards the gray, right? And from the gray, probably to the black, or we're going back. Okay, so what you're always having is you're always having a dressing and an undressing of a suit. Okay, and that's the pattern that you will be able to identify over time. Give yourself time to look at it, okay, and start yourself for a while, and then you'll see that you'll actually be able to tell when you see that pattern repeating, that those are the colors of cars that'll be basically repeating in that pattern. So you'll know it's either going towards dressing or undressing for the next color. Okay, and then if you identify you can identify patterns that are happening within the manifestation of that recurring pattern. So over a short period of time, so you'll notice, okay, right now, every time there's a gray one, there's another gray one that comes, or something like that. Okay, you'll be able to see those patterns as well. Okay, but what you identify is that pattern of the suit. Okay, and there's a reason why you'll be able to identify this pattern, because this is a recurring pattern that is basically a pattern of life, a pattern that reflects the system and the way it operates. Okay, and it's a visible way for us to be able to easily see that pattern taking place and understand there's a pattern taking place, and that tells us, that that's a pattern because it's in the code of the computer in which we exist. Okay, a functioning of the pattern. So I invite you to take a time to go to an intersection where you have enough cars passing by, and you'll be able to identify that. Another thing you'll be able to identify is at an intersection in busy times, you'll have, let's say cars are stopped at a red light, you'll have that pattern reflecting in the cars. Okay, basically the pattern of a suit. Okay, going from the outside to the inside, or the other way. Okay, and then you'll basically, let's say those cars move forward and then another set of cars stop at the intersection. Well, maybe not that one, or the one after, maybe a set of cars, you'll see that pattern reflecting, happening again. Okay, and that's basically that pattern taking place. And the way that pattern takes place is it keeps taking place, okay, until it needs to get reset. So when you see a reset in the pattern, then you're seeing a car of a different color, an unusual color that comes by, okay, and that breaks the pattern. Okay, and once that pattern's been broken because it has degraded, okay, that basically implementation of the code is degraded, then it's basically reset to the same pattern, which follows the same pattern. Okay, you'll see the dressing and undressing of the suit until you get once again to a different color that breaks the pattern. Okay, so I invite you to take a look at that. Now, why is that the case? Okay, there is an explanation for that. Okay, and I'm going to invite you to think about the suit as I've talked about in previous videos, once again for those who have listened to previous videos. Okay, we're going to talk about, how, for example, when you have, for example, a painting, you have the painting, which is basically your structure, okay, on which you're going to put your story. Okay, so what you have in this case is you have the black, which is the outside of the suit, and we've talked how the black represents system and administrator in the colors of the Kala chakra. Okay, the black color, and then you have the gray. Okay, and then you have the gray, which is basically the lining in between the inside and the outside. Okay, in between basically the inside, which is basically what is built on the outside, on the structure. Okay, so the structure itself represented by the gray by the black in that case, as is the color of the black in the Kala chakra, which governs the structure as well, into which all the tunnels are built, all the development pathways. So then you have the white, okay, which is basically the white. There's it's basically public space, okay, in the Kala chakra, okay. So you have the white, okay, and then you have basically the individuality, okay, which is reflected, because you're all wearing a black suit with a white shirt, you all look the same, right? It's the same structure, the same operating uh, fundamental basis, okay, structure there. So what you have on top of that, you have your individuality that comes through your tie, okay, your color basically. Okay, whether that be at the red level or the blue level, and there are reasons. Okay, for example, the blue level is a certain priority of access, and the red level is more restricted access. Okay, so there are different things like that to know about. So what you'll see basically that pattern happening, okay, with the shirt, the tie, um, the liner, and the outside, which is the black of the suit, the outside of the suit. And it's basically going and following that structure from one to the next. So you can actually identify this pattern, and this is an identifiable pattern that you'll actually be able to, for example, have fun with it and try predicting what the next car that's going to pass is once you're identified that the pattern is taking place, that it's been reset and the pattern is back on. You'll be able to say, okay, well, the next car is either going to be, let's say, for example, you just had a gray car. You're like, well, it's either going to repeat on gray, or it's going to go to the outside of the suit, which is black, or it's going to go towards the inside of the suit, which is white, or the tie. Right? Okay? So you'll be able to know. And then by identifying what's happening within that short period of time frame, you'll see that the pattern also applies to a short period of time frame. You'll be able to see, you'll have a good idea of exactly what color is going to come next. Okay, so this is interesting. A pattern of life, okay, a pattern that repeats, okay, and a pattern that is identifiable. Okay, so you can look at any recordings, for example, of any intersection, okay, and you'll see that this pattern is reflected. Okay, so you can have fun with it. You can play the recording, and you can start seeing, okay, this is the pattern taking place. It's going to be one of the colors of the suit, and it's either dressing or undressing the suit. Sometimes you're going to have a full undressing of the suit. Okay, you're going to go directly from black to the tie. Okay, it's going to jump, or from black to the white. Okay, jumping directly, but you're still within that suit and tie of those colors repeating. Okay, and you're going to say, well, there's reasons for that. Okay, the reasons for that are basically that there's more colors on the road, more cars on the road that are in those colors, and that's why those are repeating more often. Okay, but no, the reason for that is because that's the pattern that's being manifested, and there's a pattern that's bringing everybody's vehicles together at that time, at that moment, and that's the pattern of life. Okay, so I invite you to take a look at that. That's the suit pattern. Okay, now why does it follow this suit pattern? Okay, there are reasons for that as well, the deeper reasons for that. You know, but I think it's interesting to just think that God would have has created this creation where we find this pattern of a suit which repeats in traffic like that. You know, I'd like to think that God is a sophisticated and elegant person, and I guess maybe he wears a suit too. Thank you very much for listening. Have a great day.